Greece in this HOI4 scenario didn't do too well against Bulgaria. The boys in Sofia have reaped all the rewards from their successes in Greece, and now are planning on invading Turkey. Their units are ready, they know how poor and underdeveloped this state is, and they're confident they'll win. It's sort of like a mini Western and Eastern front, but instead of Germany, it's Bulgaria. Istanbul is an insane bottleneck. They definitely are not going to cross the strait. Their expansion would seem to end here. But Sofia wants a much greater hold over the Black Sea. And not only that, the Aegean and the Eastern Med too. They're ambitious. But there is a Western front and a considerable amount of resistance. Greek partisans won't let up. In Thessaloniki, it's particularly egregious, and they can't really afford to screw up here. It's a massive supply hub near the Greek front, in case Athens wants to attack. They built a big alternative railway through northern Greece, through Ioannina to the Mediterranean springboard, but that regularly gets blown up too. I gotta mention this state, by the way. The Bulgarian High Command never even really think about this. During the war, they completely forgot about it, and for good reason. It serves no threat or seemingly any strategic benefit to their enemy. It's a plains tile heading into a city. It's a burden to Greece and resources. That's a good thing. Anyways, Bulgaria already has their offensive operations set up in Eastern Thrace. Turkish divisions are not good. Bulgaria has a mechanized unit, shock troops, part of the defense industry's propaganda and mechanization efforts. I say propaganda because what use does a mechanized division have in predominantly mountainous terrain? It's all for show. War is declared. The Bulgarians reach Istanbul, where it is very hard to pierce, even for the mechanized division. In the meanwhile, the Bulgarian Air Force branch was being established. New models were coming in, a fighter and a close air support model. Because of their limited resources, they weren't a superpower after all. They chose to prioritize their infantry support planes. Neither of their enemies had air interception abilities. Infantry support was capable of two things: infantry support and logistic strike. After months of building these things, they realized that they still didn't quite help in Istanbul. It was still an unbreakable behemoth of a city, but that was okay. They were going back to Greece. They were going to logistically handicap them, take advantage of their defensive supply lines, railways, etc. They just pushed. The supply situation was horrendous for the Greeks. Eventually, though, the army reached a point where nothing was happening. Again. This time they had really stepped on a hornet's nest, an anthill. The partisanship soared in Greece. Insurgencies devastated the Bulgarian occupation zone. Marines have been researched. They decided to land in the southern Dardanelles and these ungarrisoned Greek islands. They ran across the coastline, easily breaking the unorganized Turkish divisions. They decided to go after Eskişehir. This would be the Stalingrad of Bulgaria. What I mean is, taking a big rail hub would make both the north and south collapse, at least for a little bit. They pushed for it, and everywhere else things collapsed. They have reached all their goals. Now it was all about pacifying the situation behind the front lines. A few years passed. Turkey actually took a few tiles back, but no one really cared that much. Man, did their ruled territories not improve at all. These were all still war zones practically. Bulgaria really was degenerating as a society. Their complacency had caused no real advancements to be made, and tens of thousands of lives have been lost just trying to keep control of their ill-gotten gains. Turkey, who had all the time in the world, perfected their strategies. They just began an offensive into Izmit. Then they went after the Bulgarian Stalingrad. Bulgarian High Command was incredibly rusty and they didn't expect any of this. It was all out of nowhere. In Greece, they didn't even push. A massive uprising happened behind the lines. Bulgaria's air wasn't nearly as effective anymore due to anti-air technology. The Bursa line was the last major defense line. It took some work, and after being broken, the Bulgarians scrambled to Izmir and the Aegean, micro-defense lines, Turks having to chip away at them. The Bulgarian navy was pretty good, though it wasn't really that big. No way the Turks were going to set foot in Bulgaria after Anatolia. On the Greek front, the veteran Greek mountaineers and just the ordinary foot soldiers would begin pushing north. They cut off the west, and now we're looking at the Macedonia line. They weren't going to break through it anytime soon. The High Command had failed, but I don't know, what were they really supposed to do? Their enemies were just better now. They were just going to hold this. It was going to be impossible to break it. Any defeat was going to come from the inside. And things were not exactly stable in Bulgaria. There had sort of become a rift between the view of how things should be run. One side of the military wanted to go north, the other south. The one dominating right now was the south, but they had just lost almost everything here. A coup happened, and a peace term was drawn up. But obviously this wasn't going to last. At least the state was in a state of peace now and could begin rebuilding their reputation. They were going to do this by invading someone in the north. But yeah, that's about it. That's the scenario. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. See ya.